Hello live wires, Heather Boyd Wire here, and welcome to my channel for all kinds of wire art and jewelry making tutorials and live streams. Today we're going to make a couple of different unisex rings. What you're going to need for this project are some thicker wire. I have 16 gauge wire. You need also either some flat wire for wrapping or some 20 or 18 gauge tinned copper or another wire. You need your tools, flat pliers, cutters, round pliers, a ring cone or a round form, a ruler, and optional if you want to print a letter in the flat metal, you'll need your metal stamping tools and a mallet. So you'll start with an 8 to 10 inch piece of 16 gauge wire, and we're just going to hold it on our round form or our ring cone and wrap it around 3 times. So we'll just wrap it all the way around so you have a couple of the ends sticking out here at either side. This is 8 inches and it's just sort of barely enough for the ring. So then we need a 1/2 inch piece of the flat wire. Make sure you cut it flush like that. Measure it to 1/2 inch and then cut the other side flush as well. This is the right length if you're using 16 gauge wire, wrapping around 3 times, so it'll depend on what wire you're using for the base. So from there, we're just going to take our round pliers and just start the bend a little bit on either side. We're just going to bring this one around, start it a little bit, not too much because we want to be able to get the ring inside. So make sure it's sort of more or less centered what you're doing there. And then take your ring and you're just going to slide these wires inside. So just slide them right inside there so it sits like that. And then we want to bring this one around and we're going to close these up. Now if you're worried about scratching, you can always put the elastic band in there like I did in my previous video, or you can use some silicone tipped pliers. So we'll just take this one and push that end in a little bit, flip it around because we want it centered, and then just take this and give it a little, like kind of flick of the wrist a little bit because you want that little seam to be flush inside the ring. So we're just going to bring that one in there. Okay, flatten it out a little bit so that's smooth. And then we have the flat band on this side. So from there, we're going to clip the ends flush. So just clip them to about like 1/4 inch type of thing. And then we're going to take this and wind the end. So in theory, you could pinch those ends inside there if you want and cut them flush. Or if you want to just finish them off so it's very secure and a little more fancy, just take your round nose pliers and bring this around a little bit, and then you can always pinch them in a little bit more. So same on this side, we're just going to clip it to it's about 1/4 inch like we did on the other side, not too short or it's going to be hard to bend. Take the end with your round pliers and twist it. So we're just going to bring it around, twist it around, and then you can finish just by pinching it in with the flat pliers. And then you can kind of adjust these so they're more or less flat. And then to size it, we'll just put it back on the ring cone to finish it off a little bit. Really make sure those ends are pinched in so they're not sharp, and that makes a really funky ring. And if you want to, you can always take your mallet and just tap it down a little bit as well. So if you want an initial on your ring, get your metal stamping tools, and before you wrap the ring, put your stamper down, center it on the piece, give it a firm tap, and then you can wrap it on your bracelet. So the one with the initial will do the same way. Just flip it over and just gradually kind of bring the ends in a little bit so they're in the same amount on either side. Just slowly go over to each side and bring them in. It's good to do just like little bends on either side at first to make sure it's somewhat centered, and then you can get your ring. This one already did the loops on it, and we're just going to bring that one in and bring it in there so it just sits right nicely in there. And we're going to flip it, hold it in place, and just slowly bring those ends in. Just bring it in with a flick of the wrist. Make sure these two ends match up, and then at that point you can put it on your ring cone to make sure everything lines up, and there you have your super cool initial ring. So this one I cut a little longer, closer to 10 inches, and we're going to do the same thing where we go around 3 times, whatever size that you need for your ring. Just bring it all the way around. Make sure these are squished in quite a bit. And then we're going to take a thinner wire. You can use, this is tin copper, you can use stainless steel if you want, 20 gauge, and we're going to slide it into the ring and then just wind it through. So we're going to bring this one around. Just make sure it pulls the wires in together. So we're just going to go all the way around. Try to do a nice even wind, and you can go around as many times as you like. So that's 4, and then we can flip it and come over to the other side, and we can do, you know, 5 or 6, however many you like the look of. Let's do one more. Bring it in there. If you need help with the wire, just give it a little tug with your pliers. So make sure these are nice and squished in. And then we're going to flip it over to clip the ends. So just take your cutters and cut it like about halfway through there, a little bit less, and then this side too. Just cut it about halfway there, and then we're going to pinch these ends in a little bit. Careful not to scratch the wire, but you're kind of pushing it like almost under that other wire, so it's very discreet and not sharp. Make sure these aren't sharp. At that point you can put it back on the ring cone to your right size. You can squish these wires in together a little bit more. If you do want to, you can tap it down a little bit to firm it up. And then from there, I'm just going to hold it in place and bend one wire that way and that wire that way. So this is our beginning point. I've even seen rings where they clip the ends and it looks a little bit like barbed wire, but that would be a little bit scratchy. So I'm going to finish it off a little bit differently. We're just going to bring this one all the way around, and then this one too. We're going to bring it all the way around so it's pretty symmetrical like that. And then from there, we're just going to bring this one down. Okay, and then this one, we're going to bring this one down so it still looks pretty symmetrical. And then we want to clip those ends, so we want to clip them flush. We don't want them too long, too short, so we'll give it a nice little flush cut there. This one too, just a little flush cut. Try to eyeball the position. After that, we'll just push these ends so they're flush with that, and this one here so it's flush with that one. And then it's always a good idea to put it back on the ring cone, play around with it so it's nice and flat. You can tap it around with the mallet again if you like. You can push these in a little bit too if they got too spread out. Just go in with your flat pliers, do any little adjustments that you need. And there you have a super funky ring that could also be worn as a thumb ring. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more wire art and jewelry making videos. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live and when I post new videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your wire art and jewelry, be sure to join the Wire Makers Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wedding cake toppers and funky jewelry. I also have a mailing list, so if you'd like to sign up below, I'll send you my Wire Art Essentials ebook. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.